Jails Movie Life, episode 27. This week I'm reviewing Hitchcock, the new Anthony Hopkins movie where he stars as Alfred Hitchcock, the legendary filmmaker and all-around fat guy. Hitchcock, or as he was known to his friends as Hitch, because since he was a fat white guy, he worked with Will Smith on dating techniques. Hitch is an interesting character. He's obviously a brilliant filmmaker, and he's also wearing a huge fat suit, which is a good move by Anthony Hopkins to try and legitimize the fat suit in Hollywood, because for too long it's become a joke. You know, you've got Mike Myers sported the fat suit, Eddie Murphy sported the fat suit, Martin Lawrence obviously sported the fat suit, Eddie Murphy sported the fat suit again, and Aretha Franklin sported it. And it's become sort of a real big joke, but Anthony Hopkins does it justice. He looks disgusting throughout the movie. Apparently Alfred Hitchcock liked three things, or four things: movies, liquor, food, and blondes. Which, okay, that's maybe I shouldn't be passing judgment on him right now for those things, but he's sort of a disgusting character, and the whole movie, you know, it's become the subject of several films, but apparently he just became sort of a creepy stalker of whoever his leading lady was. And despite his talent, women, I guess back then, still had some class and didn't just bang a fat, gross dude with money. I'm sure there were some, but Hitchcock couldn't seem to get laid from any of these starlets, which is sad because he's like a legendary filmmaker, so he really must have been disgusting. But Anthony Hopkins plays him well. He's covered up under a ton of makeup though, so it's almost hard sometimes to read his emotions. And Helen Mirren plays his wife, who has a great monologue in the movie that all the women in the theater clapped for, even though I'm sure Alfred would have backhanded her back in the day for speaking up so loudly. But it still was a nice, rousing, inspirational moment. The weird thing about the movie, and you know, it's basically, the acting was solid. I'm not going to say it wasn't. And there were funny moments, because I really liked the movie Psycho, so it was good to see kind of a little behind the scenes, even if they took some liberties with history. But the movie, and I usually don't give away endings, but here's I mean, it's in history. It's like giving away the ending of Titanic or Lincoln. At the end of the movie, there's sort of this pleasant moment between Hitchcock and his wife, where he sort of finally acknowledges her importance to his career, which is a great moment. And then I got home and I watched the HBO movie The Girl, which is another movie about Hitchcock, about him stalking and harassing and just getting all over one of his blonde starlets, which was about the making of The Birds. The Girl was about the making of The Birds, which is the movie he made right after Hitchcock, and he was doing the same shit again. So it totally ruined the ending of Hitchcock for me, because it was like, oh, he didn't learn his lesson. He just kept trying to force himself on young, impressionable blondes, and so that sort of ruins Hitchcock's ending, at least in terms of veracity, because he probably just kept eating and drinking and trying to just bury himself in sad runaway blondes for the rest of his life. So with that in mind, I did enjoy Hitchcock, and I would have given it a B. I would have actually given it a B/B+ if I hadn't seen The Girl on HBO. But because that just sort of tainted it, I got to drop it to a B-. So still a pleasant movie, and if you don't mind just horrible inaccuracies, I guess, it's still a pleasant movie and the performances are good. But I'd say wait for video or cable for this one. Okay, so that's this week's review. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next week.